All right, ladies and gentlemen and ladies, welcome to another B Tatum show. I got my buddies in here, man. You got Jericho Green up at the top. I think you guys are seeing it. You got Greg Foreman, aka George Foreman,
That's my
with the
uncle, man.
muscles. That's your uncle for real?
I'm just joking.
And we got my boy Bryson Gray in the house.
Yeah.
And y'all bear with me because I literally just did a 3-hour show. I haven't eaten a day at all, and I've been going since like 7 o'clock this morning. But I got a whole bunch of stuff that I want to talk to you guys about. And the first thing is this Trump indictment. I want to know, we go around the panel, what do you guys think about this Trump indictment? I'll start with you, Jericho. Do you think that this is a witch hunt? Do you think that Trump is done for? What do you think about the indictment?
Well, thanks for having me back, man. Good to see you guys again. I don't think Trump is done. They call him Teflon Don for a reason. I like to think, and so far he's shown us that he's at least 2 steps ahead of the mainstream mediocres. So his legal team and himself included had to have seen this coming, had to have known. He put it on True Social. He's going to be indicted. So obviously he knows that this was going to happen at some point. It's just to see it actually happen. To say it's going to happen is one thing. For it to happen is another. And we know about TDS. We've seen it. We deal with it all the time. The comments, B Tatum with you taking phone calls. We all see it out there. We know it's real. But to this level, and knowing all of the things that are in opposition to this, the statute of limitations run out, the letters and stuff that's telling where the money came from, comments or statements from Stormy Daniels, all the people involved, aside from Trump, are giving evidence that go in the opposite direction of what they're trying to do. And the district attorney of New York, Alvin Bragg, he ran on that. That was one of his main things is I'm going to get the bad orange man. Do I think Trump is done? No. But when they get that picture, that photograph of his mugshot or whatever, that's all they need. Truth has no place here. Facts have no place. They just need that right image, and they're going to beat the dummies over the head with it until Election Day. And as we know, that can be a very dangerous thing.
Yeah, no, I agree 1,000%. And I have to go to my sponsor of this show real quick. And this is pertaining to, I think, one of the cases of how the government is so fraudulent that I'm mind blown by it. But this video is sponsored by the blackforestsupplements.com, blackforestsupplements.com. I want to tell you guys about the NMN supplement. It's the nucleotinamide
You got it.
mononucleotide.
Bam.
Now, you don't need to remember that because I went to grade school. I mean, when I was in grade school, I went to a public school, so don't even worry about that. What you need to know is that this is a supplement that's incredible for your health, longevity. Also, the government, the FDA, is literally trying to make it a prescription drug, which is the most fraudulent thing ever, in my personal opinion, because they are literally trying to take advantage of the market and make as much money as they can. So the NMN is an incredible supplement for overall health and longevity. And then also it helps improve energy. It takes the energy and transfer it from the fatty acids to glucose in the mitochondria, which is literally the power plant of your cells. And it converts it into ATP, which is cellular energy. Weight management is something that the supplement it helps you as well. Endurance and strength, and then also anti-aging. So the big thing here is that go and get the supplement before they turn it into for the FDA, make it a prescription drug, because it's so powerful and it works very well that our government is going to try to manipulate it. So go to blackforestsupplements.com, put in Tatum 10, and you'll get 10% off your supplements. The link will be in the description section somewhere. But continuing on with the fraudulent government, Black Conservative Perspective, that's what I'm going to call you because that's what your channel say. So Black Conservative Perspective, what do you think about this whole thing, man? Do you think this is DeSantis' time to shine? Do you think it's fraudulent what they did to Trump? Let me know what you think.
Yeah, so just so everybody knows, CNN, you can take this with a grain of salt, but it's probably some truth to this. They're saying that he's been charged with 30 plus counts of business fraud. So they're not necessarily, or falsifying business records. So it's not necessarily like the campaign finance thing, which the federal courts have basically declined to actually go after him for, which is why this was so weird, because like they had so many years to actually go after him for, any type of federal campaign finance violations, and the DOJ was like, nah. You know what I'm saying? So now that we kind of know exactly, or somewhat know what they're actually going after him for, I think that that's probably can help us have a more, I guess, more educated conversation about what's going on. But that's allegedly what they're going after him for. In regards to what it means for him politically, you asked about Ron DeSantis and versus Trump. DeSantis actually came out and said that he's not going to cooperate with the extradition request. If Trump says, hey, I don't want to go, I'm not going to leave Mar-a-Lago. And then they request for, Ron DeSantis to have him, arrested and sent to New York. He's like, nah, I'm not going to get involved. Well, put it this way, he's like, nah, I'm not going to cooperate with them. That, in my opinion, is Ron DeSantis basically doing a 180 from what he said a couple weeks ago. When this first came out, he was like, oh, I'm not going to get involved. Basically, I'm just going to, let it happen or whatever. He faced a lot of backlash for it. And that puts him in an interesting situation because this is actually good for Trump, in my opinion. I mean, that's why, I'm not really that pissed off about it, even though I was pissed when the FBI did that raid in Mar-a-Lago. I was pissed about that. But the more I thought about it, I was like, honestly, this just guarantees that Trump's going to win the primary. I mean, he's not actually really going to, do any real prison time for this, anything like that. It just guarantees he's going to win the primary, which is kind of what the Democrats want. And it's just going to, honestly, I think when it comes to independents and people that, really care about corruption, that really are looking at, okay, these people are just, they're ruthless. Like, they're quite literally trying to lock up political opponents, or at the very least, they're trying to influence the outcome of the election. And I think that that's turning a whole lot of people off who are independent-minded, who may be a little bit left-leaning, who don't necessarily feel comfortable with a political party just flat out trying to lock up political opponents. I saw Jason Whitlock on Tucker Carlson, and he was just like, I've never voted in my life. I'm not really a Trump guy. I like Trump, I wasn't really MAGA, but I'm full-blown MAGA tonight, right? I'm full-blown MAGA because I see what is happening to this country and what the Democrats are doing, And I think that there are a lot more reactions like that. Like, I was looking at some comment section of some Instagram pages that was talking about it that's not necessarily right-leaning or anything like that. And people are like, yo, I don't know about this, right? I was just getting a haircut today. My barber is not, like I said, right-leaning or anything. Like, he's just a regular person. And he's like, yeah, I don't know about this. Like, I don't feel comfortable with this type of political persecution. And I really do think it's going to backfire in regards to what they're doing. I think at the very least, it guarantees that Trump is going to win the Republican primary. And again, it could backfire in 2024 in the sense that if people are saying that, this is what they do to political opponents, they're trying to lock them up. They're trying to influence the outcome of the election through going after them with these frivolous charges. I really don't know if this is good for Democrats. I think this is actually great for Trump.
Right. Bryson, what you think on that?
We all know what this is. This is political persecution, blah, blah, blah. Everybody has said it. We already know what's going to happen. They're doing this to try to make Trump look bad to the left. The issue is the effects this will have in 2024, which is the real question, because we know Trump is not going to serve any real jail time or anything. He's going to get out. This is all nonsense. But what will the effect be? So from the Republican side, a lot of Republicans think that this is going to this makes Trump easy win for the 2024 election. And I don't think that's true at all. I think what's true is more so what Black Conservative Perspective said, that this will make him a shoe-in to win the primaries, because now you just pretty much turned him into a living martyr in a sort of way. So he will win a Republican nomination, but I also think that's what Democrats want. On the Democratic side, they're going to paint Trump as a criminal, obviously. They're going to run ads every single day that Trump is a criminal. So the issue is, how about the middle? How about the moderates? And I've been watching pages like Academics, Shade Room, and see what they saying about it, because this is already spread it everywhere. People in the comment section just don't care. The issue is they don't give a crap. Like, they literally don't. It's funny to them. They're laughing about it. It's something that just happens. But I think people on the right, we overestimate how much people in the middle care. We view Trump as a living martyr because of this. They don't give a hillbilly hootenanny. And that's the issue I think a lot of conservatives are going to face, and they'll be in for a rude awakening if they don't have any other way to get people out to vote other than this.
Yeah, I tend to agree with what you said, Bryson. You know, I guess people could call me a traitor. You know, when Donald Trump was acting a fool not too long ago, I was like, man, I don't want to. I want to vote for DeSantis because I think he can actually win. Because I think there's a difference between popularity and electability. And but I do see the writing on the wall. You know, this is momentum for Trump for sure, unless there's something significant that they can do to him. If he goes into court and he just wins this case, it's a huge momentum booster because the government is like 0-6 trying to indict Trump on stuff, and it just exacerbates pretty much what he has already said about the government and their fear of Donald Trump. But if they do have something enough that he do any time in jail, I mean, it's going to be a nightmare in the general election. And I think that Ron DeSantis may actually have an opportunity to jump in the race and win. People keep saying that, like, Brandon, you wrong about the Ron DeSantis thing. And it's like, I like Trump, but I'm listening to other people too. I'm not in the echo chamber. I'm not sitting around being like, oh, Trump. I like Trump, but it's a lot of people that go to the cigar lounge with me, people that I talk to, and they like, I'm never voting for Trump again. And so in the echo chamber, it sounds like this is going to be the perfect scenario for Trump. It's a layup. He's going to win the presidency. He's going to landslide in 2024. But in reality, man, there's so many people that's so sick of the drama, so sick of the back and forth, that I think they're going to be willing to like sit out the election, or they may be willing to vote for the Democrat because they don't want these leftists pushing the same agenda, making, you know, our country just in a constant debate all day. And I'll say this, and I'm gonna move on. And it gives some of these people that's in the middle, somewhat flaky, somewhat cowardice, it gives them an opportunity to make amends with all these people who threw them under the bus for supporting Trump. Now they can back off and say, you know what? You're right. He is a bad guy. I won't vote for him again. Can we be friends again? Like, I think that this is kind of the path for those people that are on the fence to fall off the fence on the opposite direction.
But real quick, something BCP said, as far as, you know, them going after him for these building infractions, I think that's even worse. That's even a weaker case. And why now?
Falsifying business records. That I want to be just specific. So yeah.
Yeah, and why now? They've been salivating to get something on Trump since he came down the escalator, and I think this is even more of a weaker case, because if it's building violations and stuff and falsifying records, then was Trump at the office, you know, burning the midnight oil with his sleeves rolled up, crunching numbers and making sure papers get turned into the city? I think he's pretty far removed from that. I think that's somebody further down the food chain who's in charge of, you know, paperwork and what's being violated. And I don't think Trump has anything. He's just too big of a fish to be concerned with paperwork, which is what this turns out to be, where this boils down to paperwork. And I don't think Trump is doing too much paperwork. So this is a pretty weak case.
Right, and the statute of limitations for what people thought the charges would be, and which they haven't released them. As far as I know, they haven't released them. Maybe some people have some inside scoop on what they may charge him with, but the charges that people think that he may be charged with, there's a statute of limitations that are far beyond the scope of what's going on. Like, they couldn't charge him with the things that people think they're going to charge him with because of, you know, they kind of ran out of time. So I know that they're going to come with all this stuff. And at the end of the day, my whole thing is that, did he do it or did he not do it? When they put the charges out there, I want to know, did Trump do this or did he not do it? And if he did it and they just gunning for him, but he's still guilty, then, you know, that to me says a lot. But at the end of the day, man, if DeSantis wasn't in the race and Trump was running, I'll vote for him. If DeSantis and Trump was in the race and Trump won the primary, I'm voting for Trump. It's not even a question.
My view might be a little different than that. I'm gonna be honest, bro. As a Christian, I've become more of a one-issue voter. Basically, anybody that goes against God is against me. And to be quite frank, Republicans have shown themselves to just be Democrats from 7 years ago. And I'm gonna be quite honest. I don't even know if I'm voting in 2024 at all, because I can't biblically justify voting for the lesser of two evils. I mean, that's just me being honest.
I disagree with that to a certain degree, because I'm like, you know, in a perfect world, I would love to just, and I'm not saying you're wrong, and it's just my opinion about it, but in a perfect world, I would love to say we get to pick a person who's godly, a person who, you know, adheres to the Bible, somebody that's a leader, that's good with policies and all of the above. we're able to do that. But in the country we live in, man, we're gonna either let the country go off a cliff, or we're gonna try to save it a little bit till we actually get somebody that makes sense.
I think the difference is a little bit different than that, though. I think it's either going to go off the cliff now or 7 years from now. I think that's the decision we're making in these elections because, I mean, like I tell people, if you look at the people identifying as transgender, that whole narrative is continuing. It's not going to stop for a Republican. It's not going to stop for a Democrat because both sides support the LGBT agenda now. It's not just the LGBT agenda. Any woke agenda is being supported by both sides. Republicans just supported a little bit less than the Democrats. But what's funny is that people just rewind the clock back 8 years, maybe 10. Democrats and Republicans pretty much agreed on what marriage was. Now, you know what I'm saying? Now Biden passing the Respect for Marriage Act, and you got Trump out here celebrating the Respect for Marriage Act at Mar-a-Lago. So,
So let's say
Bryce, Uganda?
Oh, I ain't gonna say my opinion on Uganda on B Tatum YouTube channel.
Hey, bro, I made a video, and I was pretty harsh about Uganda. I mean, my statement on Uganda, but go ahead. Yeah, just don't say the F word, and what F word that is.
Yeah,
hey,
not the fun one.
Just know, all I'm gonna say is United States of America, and not just United States of America, other Western societies could learn something from Uganda. And I'll leave it there.
I got a lot of Uganda supporters in my comment section. They're like, yeah, like I'm a Ugandan now.
Based.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's Uganda's business. If that's what they want to do in their country, that's how they feel about it. Leave them be. So what? I'm sure Uganda could look at some of our rules and regulations and find fault in them. If that's how they feel, man, that's how they feel. That just makes us look even better. That slaps the left in the face even more. You say that happens here. You say they're persecuted here and they're oppressed here and they're being, what did Chocolate Patty say? That they're being attacked? Really? That's real attacking. They're about to pass a law that's going to make you a criminal if you engage in that. Here, you got 2 months. You got TV shows. You got your own section on a streaming service. You got them lighting up the White House. Everybody's an ally. So where would you rather be? Where would you rather be a member of the alphabet soup group? Here?
Low key, I kind of want them to go there.
Huh?
Low key, I kind of want them to go there.
I thought he was asking me where would I rather be. I was about to answer, but then he said for that.
I mean,
I want them to move. I kind of want them to move there. I'm like, I don't necessarily know if I want these people to stay here anymore.
Hey, I have listen, I'm a good guy. I'm very tolerant, Hey.
It's the extremists. Anything.
Well,
it's always the extremists.
Well, I'll say this, man. Like, to be honest, like I think that we have to have a standard in our country to some degree, or we just fall off a cliff, man. Like, I see what Uganda is doing, because what people don't realize is that I guarantee you there's not a lot of people running around talking about they're gay in Uganda. I think they don't really have that issue whatsoever, because you listen to the president, you listen to people in leadership, they're like, what are you talking about? We don't even, it's like a foreign concept to people in here. Mm-hmm. But what they did, I think, was they established it so that they don't have people coming into their country thinking that they're going to turn it into the United States of America.
Fault. Yeah.
And go ahead.
I was about to say, by the way, United States of America threatened to take away any federal funding from Uganda. Uganda said, we don't give a crap. We're doing it. And it's not just in Africa. Everywhere else in the world outside of the West think this is like silly, that the stuff we talk about. How the conversations we have, they think like, what the crap are y'all talking about? It's really just us that think this is normal.
We've gone crazy, man. We've gone too far. Like, I look at it and I say, back in the 70s, a person who had homosexual tendency, I mean, not tendencies, but lived a homosexual lifestyle, or like a man that's attracted to another man, was considered a mental illness. And I think we should have never got past that. Like, like it's still a mental illness. And mental illness doesn't mean you're a bad person. A mental illness doesn't mean people should hate you. It just means that there's something that has gone wrong in your mind where your instinct is to like another man. That doesn't make sense in biblical standing. That doesn't make sense in evolution. Like, it's not even the way human beings work. So something has gone wrong in your mind. Why couldn't our country focus on helping people overcome that? With all the medicine and technology and research and cancer research and all that, well, how about you research how the human brain works and how you can help people overcome that? And I think that would have been a better message than saying, oh, let's not make it about a mental illness. And then, okay, people want to get married. Okay, people want people to transition. And now they want adults to transition. Now they want kids. Now they want women to accept it. And now there's 45 genders and nobody knows who's what. And men can get pregnant. And like, bro, we didn't fell off a cliff at this point. And we were trying to warn people that, bro, you can't give them an inch because they're going to take a mile.
A mile. They done took the whole track at this point. Listen, bro,
They're doing a triathlon.
No cap. Hey, I'm in Tennessee, and sometimes I meet some of my fans, and they be coming to me like, man, their daughters and sons are coming home from school confused because it's the norm, even in middle schools and elementary schools, it's the norm for people to identify something other than normal, other than straight. Now, if you're straight, you looked at as like the lame and weird person. I've gotten so many people telling me stuff like that, but then you see why they force teachers to go to this re-education camp. I meant LGBT program. They force teachers to do it. My dad is a public school teacher. They try to force him to do it. And you have to abide by these things in school, which means this is actually being funded by the government, at least in the local sense. And it's just propaganda, man. And it's working very well.
Yeah, it's our fault. We created this Uganda issue. It's our fault because they see the writing on the wall. They see it coming. They don't want that to happen in their country. They don't want wokeism to permeate their society and poison it and weaken it. We've done that to pretty well Europe, but Europe got it the worst. We did it to Europe the worst. But they see what's coming and they don't want that in their society. And I think that there are people who live that lifestyle, who enjoyed the underground nature of it back in the day. They enjoyed the staying in the closet, so to speak. Now, I'm sure most people don't want to be pushed to the forefront and this is what we all are, and they're being dragged along with all these weirdos. I think they might have liked being underground in their own world, being around people who live that lifestyle. And now it's the cool thing. It's the trend. There's a kid at my daughter's school who wears a tail and ears and wants to be referred to as an animal. Now, and they wear a dog mask, like, the little nose thing right here. You can't wear a mask on Halloween, but this kid is allowed to wear a mask every day and wants to be referred to as an animal. It's ridiculous. But there's no parent to say, what? No, you're not. Now come in here and eat dinner. That's the end of it. And I firmly believe. Go ahead, man.
No, go finish it.
I believe that the overwhelming majority of people who the alphabet soup group, as I like to call them, I think something happened to them. I think somebody got to them. Their parents were asleep at the wheel, or maybe something happened and their parents didn't. Yeah, I think something happened to them to make them start living that lifestyle. And I know people who that happened. It was a babysitter or something, and they were molested. And now, when you're a kid and your mind's that impressionable and you have those crucial points in your life and stuff like this, traumatic things like this happen, this is the result. And a lot of them, I think they didn't get acceptance. And so that now they're going to force it from the general public.
What do you guys think about this? Is controversial. What do you guys think about people who are claiming to be conservative and yet it's not that they, I guess, live a homosexual life, but they are celebrating the homosexual lifestyle. So what's y'all opinion on conservatives doing it and Christians doing it? Because I think there could be a difference. Like, I think a person could say, I'm a conservative person politically and still do that, and they kind of conservative, but like being a Christian, I don't know how that's even a thing. So what's y'all opinion on that?
No, man, if you're a Christian or any religion, it comes along with a book, with a set of rules. And if you are going to live under that umbrella and claim to be of a religion, then that's how you got to live your life. If you don't like what's in the book, disassociate yourself and don't be a part of that group anymore. But if that's who you're rolling with, there is an explicit set of rules, what you're supposed to do and what you're not supposed to do. And that's what it is. If you don't like don't do it.
Let me say this. Let me narrow it a little bit, because I think we don't even need to talk about the Christian side, right? There's no way in the world you are a Christian and you are celebrating homosexual lifestyle, celebrating sin. I'm not saying you can't try to go to church and try to pursue Christ and you struggle with it, but you have to acknowledge that it's wrong, and you should be praying that God heal me from this, help me figure this out. So let's leave the Christian thing out of it, because people, they ain't even a conversation at this point. You can't be a Christian and just live your life openly like that and think God made you that way. It's completely crazy to me. But what about the conservative, man? Because I think that when you allow this type of behavior in the conservative movement, it begins the slippery slope, and conservatism end up happening. Like the dude Blair White, Blair White is a transgender person, and everybody's celebrating this man as if he's just like anybody else. Like, I don't get it.
So listen, here go my thing. And I just want to bring up the Christian part, which is just 1 second, because you have to think about it. Not only is this sin being celebrated, it's the only sin that's really celebrated. There's no adultery parades. You don't even see no parades about being a harlot. You don't even see that. You don't see bestiality parades. The only sin where you see people parading around, you don't see none of this stuff except for when it comes to LGBT. As far as conservative, we can't be like the left, because if you concede language, you concede everything. A conservative is somebody that advocates for traditional values. If you're socially liberal and fiscally conservative, there's already places for you. You're either a libertarian or you're a classical liberal, like John F. Kennedy, right? Everybody love him. But what you're not, though, is all around a conservative. If you were socially conservative and fiscally liberal, then you're literally Hitler. Like, I mean, literally. so we can't concede words. And when it comes to people like Blair White, I've watched conservatives call Blair White a her. Let's get something straight. This is a grown adult male. I think his name is Robert, right? This is the interesting aspect. 3 years ago, no conservative would be calling a grown man a she. But because Blair White or Robert spew some conservative talking points, he gets praised. Not only is he getting praised, people be like, she knows she's not a woman.
No,
does he? His name is Miss Blair White on Twitter. He made himself the best way he could possibly think. I still think it looks incorrect, but he tried to make himself look like a woman as much as he possibly could. He got fake hair. I think he did the what is called when you cut your arm off? He not decapitation. Amputation. He amputated a part of his body. And you want me to believe he knows he's not a woman. See, this is kind of crazy here. I think I can't go to cuckoo land with you. So, I mean, to be honest, but we're already seeing it, because 3 years ago, this wasn't acceptable in the conservative movement. Now it is. Not only is it acceptable, people that are against this type of stuff, biblical Christians, we are the ones that get viewed as too extreme or too radical or religious zealot, which I am proudly a religious zealot. But you get called these names because you call stuff like this out. It's a slippery slope, but it's not slippery no more. I mean, we're there. We're in the pool. It's wet. We're drenched in water. That's where we at now.
Yeah, I don't really like. I couldn't care less about what Blair White does. You know, to be honest, I don't even care. I don't even think of that person once a day. I don't even think about this person. But I really do think we have to draw the line somewhere. You have to say, hey, what part of this do you support? Because, like, for instance, the Dave Rubin, right? I as a person, I like Dave Rubin. I never had any problems with Dave Rubin. I disagree with the lifestyle, but Dave Rubin it admires a lot of conservative ideals, right? I get that. But then you say, okay, he's on our side. He's on our side. This is what's right. Okay, he can be gay, but still do this. But then when they go in and have children, I forget what they call it. Surrogacy. Surrogacy. They do surrogacy. And then you're like, well, wait a minute. You know, that's not conservative at all. Or that's not even, that's something I oppose. So are people playing in the middle, and then they're going to drag everybody else into this weird position? Like, would Blair acknowledge or want his child to be a trans? Like, do they advocate for trans rights and all this other stuff? Because in front of everybody, they're like, no, I'm a Christian. I do all this. But then behind the scenes, they're like, yeah, I support trans rights. You know, trans people do this. And it's like, I just think it's mixing sauces, and I don't really like it.
I think when you involve kids, it becomes far more cut and dry. If you're a woman and a woman couple and a man couple, I think it's selfish to bring a kid into that, because a kid needs a father and a mother, because they both bring something different to the table. Kids are going to learn most of their lessons from their parents just through osmosis, just by looking, just by being around it and observing. And I think it's selfish. Why are you doing that? Why would you put your kid in that situation? Why would you give the children on the playground more ammunition? Why would you ostracize your child? That is so weird and selfish. You're just thinking about yourself. And you usually hear them talk about, well, we have money and they're not going to want for anything and we're going to love them. Kids need more than money and kids need more than love. I know love is all encompassing. No, they need more than love. They need structure. They need discipline. They need a proper view on the world, how to be in a relationship. It's just weird. And if you get down with that lifestyle, everybody can't have everything and can't be everywhere. If you want to live in that yard, you can't be over here. You can't have no kids, man. That's weird. That's selfish and weird. You're putting those kids. And then what kind of people are you having them around? What kind of circles do you run in? That stuff. Look at D Wade's kid. That boy had a male nanny for a while before he married his wife, Gabrielle. That's weird, man. You're just putting that kid in a bad situation, a dangerous situation, and it's just selfish. You're doing that for yourself. You're not doing it because you love that kid. You're doing it because it's a status symbol.
Right. And I see people in the comment section defending Blair.
Of course.
And like, I'm just confused. I'm confused about this, right? Because people are saying, well, Blair knows that he's not a woman. And then my thing is that, well, why identify as a woman? Like why identify as a woman and why get your stuff chopped off if that's what happened? And why call yourself Blair White? Why can't you just be a man? And like, why? I don't understand. Like, why would somebody identify as that and then act like they don't advocate for it? It's like, what? Do you feel like you're a woman? I may have to talk to the person because I don't get it. Like, you feel like you're a woman, which is fine, but why do you need to transition and call yourself a woman's name and dress like a woman and get hair extensions and do all of that other stuff? Like, what is that?
Because he doesn't know. He doesn't know he's not a woman. The people in the chat are capping. I'm sorry. I love y'all. Blair White got all this stuff because he thinks he's a woman. He can't not advocate for transgenderism because he's the poster child for it.
Man, if you took that amputation and just moved it, if some guy went and got his arm chopped off, like there are people who do that, who identify as people with disabilities or amputees. And let's say he goes to some third world country and gets, Dr. Nick from The Simpsons to cut his arm off. That's crazy. Everybody would agree that's crazy. You had a perfectly good arm and you cut it off. You had a perfectly good leg and you cut it off. Or I saw one where a lady went to a South American country and got blinded on purpose. They put like bleach in her eyes and let it stay there for like an hour or something. So by the time she got to the hospital, they couldn't. It was beyond repair. So people do all kinds of crazy stuff. And we would all sit there on our couch and watch them on whatever network with their weird addiction or their weird obsession because it's crazy. But for some reason, when you cut off one of the most key parts of your body, now it's time for a parade. Now we need to light up the White House. Now I can live as my true self, live my truth. So why is that not weird and crazy when it's just a different appendage? You move it to another part of the body and all of a sudden it's nuts. No pun intended. No pun intended. It's nuts if you cut off another part of your body, but not that. Okay.
I just don't understand. I just don't understand the thing. It's like if you think you're a man, then why would you turn into a woman? Unless you really feel like you're a woman. And if you do, and you really feel like a woman and you're living as a woman, then what does it mean to say, but I'm really a man? Like, I just don't understand that. I would have to talk to somebody like that face to face because, just like black folks, people be making excuses and be lying and you don't even know because people say, I was born this way. I knew since I was 3 that I was this way. You're like, really? You don't see you were 3? You're just saying that because then it gives you credence. There's nobody can argue with you. Just like black people. I got pulled over 6 times by a cop. How they put you over for? No, they didn't put me on for no reason.
Nothing.
They give you a ticket. They gave me a warning, but still it was racist. It's like, bro, I can't even believe what you're saying. People just be making up stuff to win an argument.
Deuteronomy 22:5. Deuteronomy 22:5. For all the Christians in the chat, if there is a Christian in the chat defending this behavior, Deuteronomy 22:5. Just look it up in your Bible if you want to. Deuteronomy 22:5.
Well, the girl, what's that girl name? She just got baptized. Now I don't be trusting people.
Oh, Black
China.
She got all her stuff taken out.
She quit her OnlyFans, making millions of dollars and all of that stuff. let me just think about this for a minute, right? You say she says she's a Christian now, and she got rid of all of that stuff, right? And I think that's a good thing. She's dealing with God in her own way, and she's now changing. She got rid of OnlyFans. You know, it's funny that people that are like living a normal lifestyle, when they get saved and they come to Christ, they give up all that other stuff. That wasn't easy for her to give up millions of dollars doing OnlyFans, probably. That wasn't easy for us to take her implants out. That's not easy for us to change. And it's funny because people like that actually change, but then the other people in the LGBTQ side, they can come to God and don't change nothing. They get to keep all the lust they have. They get to keep all the sin they do, and they supposed to be accepted that way. But Black China changed all. I mean, is her name Black China?
Yep, Black China.
She went and changed all of this other stuff. You know, I think that's what God expects you to do, to be ye separated, to walk away from those things, to repent. And she does it, but you think that person on the same level as a person that doesn't do anything, that don't even give it an attempt. And they just live in a sinful life, and they say, oh, this is the way God made me. I'm hard pressed to believe in the genuineness of a person making a statement like that.
That you know, that victimhood, it protects you from a lot of light. It shields you from a lot of light, and to the point where some people won't even ask questions. Just the fact that you identify as this, then you're good. You don't got to change nothing because you've already ascended. You're already better than me. You know, you're better than me because you live like this crazy lifestyle, and people won't even question it. Just like these gay priests and stuff like that. I'm like, wait a minute.
Drag is holy.
Hold on. Again, that book comes with explicit directions. How are you going to be an LGBT alphabet soup group priest or preacher? Because you're living a contradictory lifestyle. That's like being an open murderer and you're a priest. You can't do that. Or you're a proud thief and you're a priest or a preacher. How do you reconcile that? How is that okay? How do people sit there, fill in the pews, listening to a preacher or a priest who's in the LGBT blah, blah, blah community? Again, you don't have to be in that community, but if you are, that book you have says you can't do that.
They don't open it up. This is the issue. If people go read Romans 1, the entire chapter, but if you want to be more specific, Romans 1, 27 through 31, whichever you want to do. People don't read 1 Corinthians 6, 9 through 13. People don't read Revelation 21, 8. People don't read anything in Leviticus. And the issue is if you don't read the Bible, you get this false perception of who God is. When you get this false perception of who God is, you think this is just anything goes. People think Jesus died on a cross because anything just goes now, right? No. If you read 1 John chapter 3, it says Jesus did this to destroy the works of the devil. That's why he did it.
Bruh.
So I want y'all to listen to this.
I don't get it, man.
Hold on, bro. Let me try to fix this because I want y'all to listen to this, bro.
How do you ascend to the heights of being a clergyman and not having fully understood what the Bible says?
Well, I think philosophically, I think some people just don't want to go to hell. They just feel like, well, if I believe in something, then, you know, regardless of whether or not I follow it, you know, maybe I'll be fine in the afterlife because, you know, people are afraid to die and it be nothing or to maybe end up in hell. I think that's probably kind of where it comes from.
But you're the head of the church. How are people sitting in the pews up there looking at this woman that looks like Justin Bieber?
Well, they just don't want to go to hell. They just, that's just what it is.
You know, my thing is this. Let me tell you this. Like, I rather for a person who's struggling with this stuff to be in church than for them to not. Because if they hear it a while, it may start breaking up the stuff in their heart. So I'd rather for them to go to church and get in there and get involved, and God can change you. But the thing is that the pastor and the people in leadership need to teach them that, hey, this is not okay. Let's pray for you. Let me let you listen to what this fool said on the TV right here. and this is the problem. This is the problem with, like, you want to be accepting of people like this, but then they get on here and they spit in your face. Roll the clip. Let me see.
I haven't seen it.
Check if
I saw it.
I can hear it. Oh, see, is that thing
it's wild.
Will it make me mad?
Yeah, it will.
Can y'all hear it?
Bruh, come on. Why they always look like this?
Can't hear it.
No, can't hear it.
But like you're saying, B. Tatum, for a parishioner, one of the flock, that is great. Yes, they should be in church, and maybe God will work on them. But I'm talking about the one at the pulpit. You're not supposed to be this much of a work in progress. We're supposed to look to you. You're supposed to be. You're supposed to have been where we're going. We're supposed to look to you as a leader. You can't.
Well, I mean, I think
be up there doing that.
Well, I think this is where I think Christianity, maybe Protestantism more specifically, can take a page out of from the Muslims, where they actually have a system of who they allow to actually be running their mosque, right? They don't just let anybody run their stuff and just start their own mosque and whatnot. Like, I was having a conversation with a guy out of Michigan, and he was like, bro, y'all missing it with the Christians. Y'all just allow everything to go. Like, y'all got dudes saying that Jesus is trans. He's like, bro, we wouldn't tolerate that at all. There'd be zero tolerance for that. You're not going to be no Muslim over here, talking out the side of your mouth about Muhammad like that. So, I mean, like, I just think that Christians are just more like passive than, Muslims, honestly. And then that's just what it is.
Yeah, they Christian. Listen, I'm gonna tell you what, Christians in America are the fakest Christians in the world. I'm not being mean to Christians or nothing like that. I just really feel like that the leadership of Christianity is completely off. You got guys in the pulpit. Like, bro, if you're a lay member, you in the pew, I expect you to have questions and maybe still struggle through this stuff. You are preaching as the pastor. You are supposed to be called, and you get in the pulpit and like don't know what to say when somebody talks about LGBTQ. I mean, let me play this clip. I think it'll play now.
I think children are only unsafe at drag shows when a shooter shows up to kill them.
That's right.
That's what the threat is. I would challenge anyone just to get to know trans people. We are a vibrant, diverse community, as diverse as anyone else. I'm from the great state of Texas. I served in the military. I go to church every Sunday. My faith is very important to me. But God made me in her image. God made
me in her image, bro. Let me go back. You listen to this.
But God made me in her image. God made me transgender.
God made me in her image. God made me transgender.
Oh my! Why do they always look like that? They always look like they're cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, man.
Bro, it's
all the time
because it's a mental illness. Like a person is having a mental dilemma where if they really believe what they say, they're a guy, and I don't know what's happening, but like they somehow know what a woman is. Like they know what it feel like to be a woman, I guess, and then they feel like that they're actually a woman instead of a guy. Bro, that's like somebody having this. It's a mental illness that give people what they call false bravado. They think that they're like superhumans and stuff, and like they're not. Like, dude, you jump off this building, you're gonna die. And so it's a mental thing that's going on in somebody's mind that's like they're not healthy, they're not well. They really need some assistance, and this person is one of them. And this fool right here. Bruh. He know he going to hell. No, just playing.
He looks defeated.
He looking down the barrel. He watching his salvation go right out the window.
Bro, wait. Did he say in her image?
Yep. Yes, he did.
Yes.
Man, wait, you should show me this. This is what got me hot already.
Here you go. Let me play it again.
But God made me in her image. God made me transgender. And to see these people so cynically weaponize this and exploit these children's debts and their teachers' debts,
how dare you?
It breaks my heart. I wonder what those families are thinking right now.
What do you feel when you have some?
Look at Bozo the Clown. Listen to what she said.
That gorilla face
like
dummy.
Michael Mills at CPAC. We need to eradicate transgenderism. And when somebody like Tucker Carlson says that transgender people are at war with Christians,
I can't see Christ in their words. That's for damn sure. I can't see where the biblical principles of loving your neighbor and walking the walk with Christ that they can see. I can't see what they're seeing right now because
this dude,
you're blinded.
And this is in response to Christians being killed. They're caping for trans people. Trans people are the victims. Christians, oh, screw those kids.
Yeah, it's an attack. This is a religious attack of terrorism, and they're talking about the other fool that was on there was talking about dead naming. Well, they dead naming the person that got killed because they called the person by her original name and that she's a her, and because they want people to observe her masculine pronouns or whatever that she created, then they call it dead naming if you intentionally use the opposite pronoun or the pronoun they were born with. You know, it's like, it's crazy to me because they can't be normal. Like, I would respect a trans person if they said, look, this is what I'm doing. I want to be a Christian. The Bible says that what I'm doing is wrong. And every day I pray that God will help me overcome this. Man, bro, look, come on. You good. You should be trying to overcome it, because there may be something going on in your mind that you need a supernatural healing. It's not like somebody that's like, man, I need to stop looking at pornography, or I need to stop doing this. Like, that's something that you can like put a barrier on. If you're mentally ill, you probably need some real prayer. You need people to lay hands on you and maybe cast devils out. I don't know, but I respect the person that's at least trying. I mean, I don't know what God will do for you. Maybe I'm gonna be dead before God converts you. I can't put you in hell or heaven, but I respect the person that's willing to try, bro.
Why have any respect whatsoever for the person who did that? Why not call her the most disgusting names that come to mind? No, you get no respect. I don't care what they call you. You're a monster. Why would you be sticking up for that person at all? Do they not understand how horrific that is? Not only to kill innocent people, but children?
I just want to go back.
Kids, bro.
I just want to go back to the statement he made, right? Because if this person, who's clear cut a grown man, if you tell that person he's a grown man, he will be offended. They will say you're dead naming or whatever. They'll say you misgendering. But didn't he just, like, biblically speaking, right? I don't care what Bible you pick up. And from his logic, did he not just misgender God on national TV?
Yep.
Because I've read Genesis 1:26 a few times, just a few, and I don't see her there at all. I see his. No. That's what I see. I've never seen her. So, you know, hey, all of you Transformers, if y'all would be so kind, please stop misgendering God. It is quite blasphemous.
Why are you assuming his gender?
Well, I think they make an argument that God is actually is trans, and I think I don't know exactly what passage, or maybe you know the passage, but there's debate about when they say let us create man in our image, or at some point it was like maybe say that he was they was using gender neutral pronouns, and I think they extrapolated that to mean that okay, well it can possibly, I don't know. You guys are more versed in that than me. I just want to throw that out there in terms of why they're saying that.
But let me tell you the hypocrisy, because now you're alluding to there's only two genders, because God made him male and female. That's all it said. And if you think God is, and they say, well, God is trans what? Because you're only giving him male or female. They claim that it's all these other LGBTQ, AARP, but like if you do gender reassignment surgery, you only reassign to two genders, right? You go from this one to this one to this one to this one. That's gender reassignment surgery is confirming there's only two genders. The way they talk about God as a he or she is only two genders. If you look at the Bible, God made him male and female. That's only two genders. So even the arguments they try to make contradict their whole theology of gender binary, gender neutral, and all this other stuff. And I think we got to stop talking about gender and sex, because they're different things, right? Because there's no such thing as a gender. You only have a sex. Gender comes from language. There's no, like the masculine and the feminine language. So in the Bible, when it talks about her or his, a lot of time is speaking of the masculine or the feminine. It's not talking about an actual sex. So I think people get too confused about that. It's only male or female. It's no, the gender thing is a language that has nothing to do with your sex.
Well, the beautiful thing about gender, because we're talking about the book of Genesis, and he brought up our in Genesis 1:26, which means whoever made that argument, that isn't a real argument, by the way. That's only an argument amongst weirdos, because everybody can just read Genesis 1:27 and it clearly says his. Like God was literally only called he or his or him. That's it. So no argument there. The beautiful thing about Genesis, and we're talking about the word gender, is the word Genesis and the word gender has the same root word. Ding, ding, ding. The Latin term genus is the root word for gender and Genesis, because guess what the word genus means? It means origin. It means birth. That's what the word genus means. Genus. Look up the root word of Genesis and gender. It's the same thing. The word gender didn't even start changing until a guy named John Money started doing experiments on Ding, ding, ding. You guessed it. Children. John Money started doing experiments on children, trying to do weird experiments with them, and then started saying that it's a social construct. And that's what that started from. You know, this is the fun thing about life. You see how we were just talking about Genesis and genders, and it just come together like that. Look at God.
But you know what's funny? You never see trans men on television doing this stuff. Do you?
Nope.
Like in Biden's cabinet, all the people that's in there, is there a trans man in there? No. It's only trans women, meaning that the man turned into a woman. Look at the sports. Look at all the people, Bruce Jenner and all these other people. You look at all these people. It's always male trying to be a woman. That's, to me, I think that should be a telltale sign that there's something going on in masculinity in America. Like there's something wrong. Men are having a hard time. I don't know for whatever reason, but I think that's the next topic we need to talk about, because it's always the men turning into women versus the women turning into men. I rarely ever see any of the trans men stuff. They're not in sports. They're not on television. Even the fool, what's his name? Dylan Mulvaney. There's no popular woman turning into a man. It's always the men turning into women. The beauty pageant and all of that stuff. There's no trans man on like Vogue or something like with muscles, and but you see the man on there. So anyway, what do you guys think that there's something going on with the male masculinity, either prepubescent, in the womb, or even structurally nurtured to make men wussified?
I think a lot of that, like you were saying, we mostly see the men acting like women. I think it's because it's the path of least resistance. It's easier, especially physically, to be a woman. There's less danger. There's less threat. It's tougher to be a man. A man's existence is kind of rough. Nobody cares. And that's fine. We have our place. We love our place. I wouldn't trade it for anything. But men are treated, we have a tougher life. We do tougher jobs. People are tougher on us. If like my son and my daughter, I treat them differently in some ways. My son, who was it? Gavin McInnes one time, he was on Fox and he said, they asked him, would you let your daughter go to spring break? He said, hell no, I'm not letting her go to spring break. Well, what about your son? Yeah, I'll toss him a pack of condoms and tell him to be safe, because it's totally different with your son and your daughter. With women and with sports, oh, come on. Please show me the woman who's going to transition into being a man and just dominate a D1 sport. It ain't happening, but it's easier if you're a big old dude to play against smaller women. Even basketball, where the women are taller than average, still a man is going to go in there and light them up. So I think that's because we see that more because it's just easier. And with the wussification of men in our society, I think you have to expect results. When you're constantly saying you're rambunctious, oh, he's rambunctious, put him on Ritalin. You know, it's bad to be rambunctious. It's bad to be a boy. And men, the rape culture, 1 out of 4 women are getting raped on college campuses. That's bullcrap. But if you beat people over the head with this message and you have enough parents who are asleep at the wheel, or maybe they're not asleep at the wheel, which is worse, they're encouraging this nonsense, and they're also beating the masculinity out of their sons, it's going to have an effect. We see that in the Black community sometimes. Somebody wants to better themselves or they talk a certain way. There are people in your own home who will beat that out of you verbally. They will make fun of you. They'll admonish you until, you give up. Some people do, some people don't. I think most people just give up and go and take the path of least resistance. And on a societal level, we've never seen this before on this level, where everybody from top to bottom is saying toxic masculinity, even though they're enjoying the world that masculinity created. Those with the full stomach are first to insult the food. You've already filled yourself. We're a first world country. We have no natural predators. So it's easy for us to sit back and nitpick what got us here. Because I guarantee you, people who are under threat from a neighboring country who are in a war zone right now, they would love a big truckload of toxic masculinity to show up and save the day. So, of course, we're bored. We're bored. We have nothing to worry about as America. Not yet. It's coming. But we have the time to worry about stuff like this. There are people worrying about where they're going to get their next protein from. They're worried about serious things. We don't got to worry about that. So you're going to have people focus on stupid stuff like tearing down men and toxic masculinity until they need us again. You're going to chase us away, but when you need us again, you're going to be on your knees begging for us to come back and save you. So this is going to have an effect.
No, I agree. I mean, what's y'all's thoughts on it, Greg and Bryson? I mean, what's going on with men, bro? Like, I like even in the red pill movement, man. Like, I could be. I don't know how y'all feel about this, bro, but like, most of the people in the red pill movement are betas. It's a bunch of broken dudes that literally are mad at women, and so they have a whole channel to bash women. You know what I'm saying? Or they just try to call out the nutty ones. They bring them on the show and they embarrass these OnlyFans girls, and they feel good about it. But I think that even in that spectrum, men have been treated so poorly that now men are coming out and they're overcorrecting. You know, what is y'all concept of that? You know, this concept of high value men and all this red pill stuff. What's y'all thoughts on that?
So masculinity is obviously under attack, and it's not just in the media, it's in the movies and TV shows. A prime example is I just went to go see Creed 3 for the second time, because I thought it was a good movie. But this second time as I was watching, it's clear that they made Creed look like the overly emotional guy, and the woman could better control her emotions. And they had a few scenes in there where they made that obviously clear, and this happens in a lot of movies and TV shows now. Men are under attack, and every time something or someone is under attack, you always have a counter movement. This happens all throughout history, and I think the red pill movement is that they overcompensating and overcorrecting because the attack on masculinity. But a lot of them dudes are not even truly masculine. Men have three main jobs: to lead, to protect, and to provide. If you can't lead, protect, and provide, biblically speaking, you're not even a real man. Women have to play their role too, and of course, but men need to get back to doing our jobs. The reason why the society is falling apart because men are not standing up. We're what's in the way. We're supposed to be the protectors of our children. The reason that these LGBT people are allowed to attack our children like that is because men are not speaking up. When you go to a lot of these rallies, because women are typically more passionate because they're more emotional, you see women out there at the rallies fighting the hardest against this stuff going on. Us men, we're not really doing it that much. So until men stand up and just play our role like we're supposed to play, like God told us to. Until that happens, I mean, society will fall, of course.
Yeah, what do you guys think about, like, I want to get to the dating world, because I think
it's been a while.
most of us are married. Almost.
I'm engaged.
Bryson almost married.
Congratulations.
Jericho married. I'm married. Greg is still out there playing the field. Not just playing, but so like my whole thing is that, what do you guys think about? And because Greg's still out there, so Greg, what do you think about if you go on a date? Do you pay or do you play Dutch?
I pay, man. I try to play the most masculine role that I can, but honestly, man, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. A lot of girls don't like that, man. Like, they're just like not into like the whole like traditional gender stuff. You know, they get like I make a joke. Like, I was on this date with this one girl, and she was teaching me how to salsa, bachata, and she was like, "Oh yeah, you supposed to lead." I was, yeah, exactly, bro. I love Latino women, bro. But anyways, I'm just saying, man. Like, honestly, like, we can go a whole conversation about this. But anyways, she said, I made a joke. She was like, "Oh yeah, you supposed to lead or whatever." And I was like, "Oh yeah, like, like a man should lead." And she was like, "Stop." She was like, "Just don't say that." Like, she got triggered by that, and like legitimately triggered when I was just made a joke about a man leading. And like, that's not the first time that's happened. Like,
she'll let you pay though. She'll let you pay for that.
Absolutely. Oh yeah.
She got a problem with that.
You gotta do all that stuff. But if you even just like any like allusion to any type of traditional like values or general, it's just, man, I'm just about to be in church and be like, "Yo, this is what I'm about to do." Like, you know what I'm saying?
Go.
Like, that's what I'm about to do. That's what I'm about to default to, honestly, because this is just, these women are nuts, man. Like, I'm so serious. Yep. But go ahead.
I've been out of the dating game for a while, man. But like, I hear horror stories like that. Man, these women, like, I see people on Instagram, right? And you'll see them, you know, they pop up or whatever, and you'll see a dude, you'll see his girl, and she like dressing like a complete harlatan on her social media. And I'm like, bro, how do you live with the fact that your girl is woeing it up on social media? I know that the person probably making money, but like as a man, bro, you letting your girl out there putting a booty all on the social media, and
no,
I don't get it, man. I don't get it.
You know what? Let me take this off. Let me put on my sexist. Let me put on my misogyny hat. I believe firmly. I've been out of the dating game much longer than all of you. I got 14 years married. We were engaged for 4 years before that. So December of this year will be 20 years we've been together. She's a lucky woman.
Congrats.
But we want these things from women, but we also give them a traditional man in return, meaning, like you said, protect, provide, lead. Those aren't just titles. Those are serious. You know, if there's danger of any kind, I'm right there in front of you with no problem. No problem. This is what I'm here for. This is my duty. This is why I'm here. I'm like a male bumblebee. Once I sting you, I die, because that's what I was here for. So that's what we do. So of course we expect a traditional woman in return. As far as social media, nah, hells no. Not my wife can have it. She does. But showing all this and that, nah, that's mine. That's mine. I don't share my toys with nobody. That's my woman. When we're in the confines of our home, get it. But out in public, nah, hell no. Out or the public sphere, social media, and I don't have to worry about that with my wife. I got a good one. But hell no. There's no showing none of that. And the young men who are out there dating, or young or not, but who are still out there dating, I worked at Trader Joe's for 13 years. So I've seen the evolution of women a little bit. And this new crop, this 2020 and newer, this freshly out of college, these girls, not all of them, there's some good ones out there, thankfully, but they are dumb. And I worked with a girl, she told me she had just graduated from a California State University. So you know her education was bad. She said, I just want to have a guy get pregnant, get rid of him, so it can just be me and my baby alone, so I can just raise my baby by myself. That is stupid. They spit in the face of all that traditional stuff, unless it's the check. If it's the check for the bill, you know, they're twisting.
What color? What color was that girl?
She was white.
Oh, thank God, because I thought it was another. So
Wait,
I almost blew up on her.
There's a light at the end of the tunnel, though. Greg, if you go to my Instagram or my TikTok, I had a song to go viral called Homemakers.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
And if you go to the comments, there's a lot of women like, dang, I want to be a homemaker. Where all the traditional men at? You know, so if you're looking for some traditional women, you know what I'm saying? The comment section under the homemakers videos I post, low-key turned into like people looking for traditional people. You feel me? So
yeah, see, bro, I think that what happens is it's like me and my wife was talking about making a relationship channel. People are missing each other, right? Men like these red pill dudes are like, a woman want to do this. It's like, bro, you're not a traditional man either. You ain't providing nothing. You ain't, bro, you living with your homeboy over here. You can't provide a life for a woman. You think because you got YouTube following that you somehow deserve a traditional woman that's going to cook and clean for you, bro. You're not a traditional man. A traditional man ain't out cheating. A traditional man ain't out here talking about I should be able to have multiple women and I could have a body count and you don't have to have a body count. It's like a traditional man is a man that saves himself, that try to have integrity, loyalty, all of those things, and therefore it would compel a woman to want to be with that man. She feels safe, she feels secure. She don't have to look around the corner and like how many women he slept with. Did he sleep with my friends? They got to do a background check on you. So quit acting like you want a traditional woman and you're not a traditional man.
Preach.
You know, I mean, that's just my opinion, man. Like, I knew that I wanted a traditional woman, so I have to be paid for the stuff. My goal was that my wife don't have to work, because I want a woman that stay at home and cook and clean and take care of the house and take care of the kids. So I have to provide so she don't have to work and she can do that. These fools want women to work and make sandwiches. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy.
You like, why she working harder than you? And you want to be a traditional woman. Bro, traditional men take care of their women and allow them to stay at home. And if you need to make more money, bro, you got to make more money to have a woman like that. That's just my opinion.
Facts.
Yeah,
That wasn't an opinion, B. Tatum. That was called a fact. I don't even know why you said the word opinion.
Yeah, I think when you're a single man, that's one thing. But once you take that vow and you marry that woman, that's it. That's your woman. You can't. That's never been cool with me going out. Once you're married, sleeping with multiple women or cheating and all that kind of stuff. Because to me, I can't help but think about it being done to me. If my wife were to go out and do that, that's for women. It's more emotional. Like, did you make a connection with her? Are you, do you love her? How do you feel about her? With men, it's physical. Another man, I can't even say the words. It's unimaginable. I got a friend who, unfortunately, he's going through a divorce. And there's going to come a time where he's going to see his ex-wife with a new man, hugging, babe, kiss. I can't, man.
Bro,
there's no way.
And you hit the nail on the head, bro. I think that some men try to act like it's different to be a man, as if men can just sleep with a bunch of women and then they fine. And then women sleep with 3 dudes and they broken women. It's like, bro, men become broken too. Because if you sleep with that many women, all of them ain't one-nighters, bro. Some of them you actually liked. Some of them you actually gave, your heart to, you paid money for, some of them you actually had a connection with. And you just throwing your connections out there. And I noticed this about some people, and I know some people that I had to get saved for me to get delivered from this. But when you do so much, you get desensitized. And to where you have a hard time loving one woman or being with one woman because you know that there's other stuff out there that you can dabble in. And if the one woman make you mad, you like, it ain't nothing but a chicken wing for me. I can go down here and I have 3 or 4 women. And I think that hurts men too. And I think men should abstain from having multiple partners. I really wish, and I tell you, it's the biggest regret that I have relationally is that I wish I'd have waited till I got married. There's no value. I gained no value by having sex before marriage. There's no value. None. I mean, I don't know if y'all think differently. I had no value whatsoever.
And your wife is going to make you mad, just so you know.
Oh, she made me mad. She made me mad the other night.
But she's going to make you mad. That's for sure.
So what? I'm just gonna be mad then. I ain't leaving my wife, you know what I'm saying? Because
as long as it's lightweight stuff, like there's little things that my wife does that they annoy me, but they don't make me mad. Like it's never been, we've always had a rule, don't go to bed angry. And we haven't had to test that theory often, but it's never major. We have our little bickering and stuff, and then pretty soon, I walk in the room, blah, 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 apologize, whatever. And it's fine. We're always going to have low-level disagreements and stuff like that. But and like I said, we're going on 20 years and it's great. I still, think about it and it puts a smile on my face. So if you do it right, it's the best thing in the world to have a partner in life, to have somebody to share the load with, to have somebody to create life with. When you have, man, that's why I take marriage so seriously. That's why I don't like people to call whatever their perverted version of that marriage. That's not marriage. What you got going over there, you call it something else. But that ain't marriage, because I know marriage. I've lived marriage. We dated and we did it right. We planned our wedding and we were married for a few years before we had kids and all that stuff. 2.5 kids and a white picket fence. So that's not easy to do. So for somebody to hijack the title of what I built, I don't like that. Marriage is serious. If you ain't ready, don't do it. But if you are, you got to take that seriously. And once you got kids involved, man, you better that. And that's why and life isn't perfect. But if you have the opportunity to be married for a little bit and build that foundation, because when that baby gets here, that baby don't care about what you have planned. That baby don't want to hear date night. That baby don't want to hear, I'm tired, I just went to bed. It don't want to hear none of that. And you're going to need that solid foundation for it to take the weight of that, for your relationship to take the drought of having a baby, of making a family, and even after, things get changed. Your kids are your priority, but it's the greatest thing in the world. You've never been tested like that before in your life, but you've never been loved like that before in your life. I guarantee you one thing, gentlemen. When you pull up in the driveway, your wife ain't gonna run out, babe, you're here, and jump up in your arms every day. That ain't gonna happen. But your children, you B Tatum, you just wait till Bo Tato's like 3-4. You just wait, man. He comes running outside. Daddy,
he already running, bro. I mean, but I'll tell you this, man. The biggest investment and the biggest yield for success for a man is a wife. These little red pill weenies, they out here talking about what can a woman do for me? A man can. They be saying stuff like men don't need women, women need men, and all this other stuff, bro. Most successful men have a wife. The biggest investment that you make as a man is in your wife. Now, the problem is some dudes make a bad investment and they lose it all, right? They bought a stock, they bought in Tesla or something, and that went down. But if you get the right woman, bro, like, dude, I blew up exponentially when I got married. One thing is because you don't have to worry about dating and stuff, right? That takes a lot of energy, bro. Dating women, everywhere you go is potentials, right? I mean, you single, you want to be married, so you go to an event and you know, there's potential women everywhere. And you're not a lot, but you know, you still have that lingering in your mind. You date this woman is not working out. Bro, you know how much time that as an entrepreneur you're wasting dating women? Like, I got my woman at home right now. I can smoke a cigar, go here. I got a woman at home. I ain't got to juggle, text, emotional drama, damage women.
Hit reset every weekend,
none of that, bro.
Hit reset every Friday and Saturday. Start all over. Oh, hell.
I ain't got to explain nothing. I ain't got to try to reinvent myself for people. I ain't got to try to do none of that stuff, bro. I'm solid. I go travel somewhere. All I do is focus on my craft, bro. There ain't no women texting me. There ain't no none of that. I focus on my craft. I go places. I go home to my family. I go home. All my clothes are clean. All my stuff is folded. All my stuff is hung up. The bed is made. You know, as a man, that's invaluable to go home to that peace. And my house smell good. My towel smell good. When I take my shower, I got all my stuff out there. Wife be refilling my stuff.
Telling you,
I'm like 40 times more successful because of that. Yep. To be honest, and the young people that's single, when you get married, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it really is, man, to have a partner, and I think that's a woman's as a wife. That's one of her main assets is peace. When you and support, you could be dealing with the craziest stuff in life. If your wife says the right words to you, it's fine. If there's something you want to do, something you want to pursue, and your wife agrees, do it, babe, encourages you to do it, you can move mountains. The three things: support, sex, and silence. Silence, I don't mean quiet, woman. It's not what I mean. What I mean is allowing you to get inside the house, download for the day, decompress, or when she sees you're dealing with something, you're thinking about something. Men are thinkers. If we have a problem, we're going to think about it until we have a solution. And that support that I just mentioned, and the other S, obviously, you know what I mean? That's, you know, that's all right too.
Greg, quiet like a mug.
Listen, I'm not quiet.
Greg and his feelings.
I'm engaged. I'm just not married yet. I can't tell y'all what B Tatum and Jericho telling y'all. I'm not married quite yet.
Hurry up, bro. Hurry up.
It's a beautiful thing, man. It really is.
They wanted to wait till October. B Tatum, I told them, listen, we could just go to the daggone courthouse today. I mean, we don't got to.
We went to the courthouse. We ain't I'm nothing against weddings, bro. Went straight to Buckeye Courthouse, bro. We got married right before COVID. We had to social distance and do all that other stuff. We went to the courthouse, man. Didn't even have no witnesses. We ended up having some people. I hope they ain't turning to racist hillbillies or nothing, but there was some random people, 2 people behind us. We said, hey, man, can y'all be our witnesses? They came and they witnessed our marriage, bro. We got married. We didn't have time to be wasting. Yeah. I mean, for me, I didn't want to be living in sin. I don't want to be living with my wife. We're not married. I didn't want to be having sex outside of marriage. I'm like, man, let's go get married. I know I want to be with you. All that wedding stuff. My plan was that we'll save money on the wedding. I'll put that into your wedding ring and other stuff. And then we have an anniversary. We can have a little celebration after we didn't stacked up some money. But ain't no reason for me waiting 6-7 months to get married, to try to plan all this stuff for 45 people to show up. and then nobody care about your marriage after they leave.
Listen,
You can't call them for nothing.
Listen, my parents got married in the courthouse, but I know, her and her family really wanted a legit wedding, and I'm fine with it because we don't have sex and things of that nature. But so I'm fine with it, sort of. But I do want to hurry up because I've been celibate for a very long time, and
yeah, you get that party started, man.
You feel what I'm saying?
That's another thing too. That's
I'm
another
still
thing
a man,
too.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you got needs, man. But that's another thing. That's another added bonus of being married. And when you have friends who are still looking or single or whatever, that's what they're going out there for. Every night you go out, you ain't looking for a wife. You're looking for something else. And because I'm on B. Tatum's channel, I'm gonna leave it at that. But that's one of the added benefits of being married is it's on.
Yeah.
It's on.
No question.
Let
me not lie. Let me not lie.
On.
Sometimes it's questions, and then when you have a baby, you ain't gonna be able to, you gotta wait. You gotta wait. You gotta go to
6
half
weeks
time.
on the bench. Yeah.
But I will say, if anybody doesn't know this, scientifically speaking, semen retention is actually good. So for all like the fellas out there, it's actually healthy to be celibate, and it clears your mind, and women can control you with other things. So of course I support abstinence.
If you're married, you don't got to worry about being controlled.
I know.
I don't want to be controlled.
Protection
is right. I don't want to be right.
Hey, I'm talking about before marriage. Once you get married, it's over with.
Before marriage, bro, the best advice I can give young men is that it's hard though, man, because I couldn't do it. Well, I didn't do it. Maybe I could if I'd have been more disciplined. But I didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? Before I was saved, I was worse. I went to college. I was the man in college. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And just like Donald Trump say, they let you do it.
Yeah.
Dudes, women bad in college, bro. That's why I hate to say it, man. That's why I don't want no daughter, bro. Because I don't want my daughter to go to college because I don't want her to end up being like these other girls that I used to know in college. Man, they just out there bad, bro. Dudes on the football team used to play these girls so bad because they don't know what dudes really look like, right? And so this dude, one of our best players his name was Mike Bell. And dudes used to be at the club and at the parties talking about they Mike Bell. And the girls will sleep with him because they think they Mike Bell. They don't know what he really looked like because he only have a helmet on. Oh, bro, it was bad, bro. Yeah. These people daughters out there bad. But
I do have a daughter, and I'm setting that bar as high as I can. And we're gonna hope for the best. She knows,
if you raise your kids right, they should be. If you raise your kids with love and they get love from their father, then they don't need to seek that in a man. They don't need to be promiscuous. They are looking for a man like their father because he was a great example. They ain't wanting that less. And a lot of dudes their fathers ain't there. So they looking for love in the wrong places. Because they looking for love. Men are looking for the finish, and then that's it. They ain't even forgot about the girl. But women are looking for love.
The craziest thing though is for people that aren't married yet, for Christians, really, sex was the first thing I gave up. And I promise I thought I was the most cockiest Christian alive. I thought I was the best Christian in existence. I was still getting drunk and stuff though. But I wasn't having sex. I say, hey, nobody can tell me nothing. I'm top tier Christianity. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Secular music was the last thing I gave up because I'm a music artist, so I'm obsessed with music. It's hard if you've done it before. I'm not a virgin. I wish I was. It's hard if you've done it before. You give it up for a while, but after a while, it honestly gets easy. Like anything else, it's like practice. It's like I just did a diet and I gave up sugar for a month. After a week, it's just simply easy. So you could do it. Just try to find a wife, though. Quick as you can.
Yeah.
So you mess up.
Yep. But when you have them, it's a beautiful thing, man. It really is.
Yeah.
All right, man. I've been beating y'all over the head with all this stuff. I want to jump to one subject and then I'll move on. What are y'all thoughts with the gun right thing in the shooting? A lot of people are like, this is a false flag, which I don't never believe in that unless I see unequivocal proof. But I think it's interesting how the news media, they're not even talking about the fact that this is an attack on Christians. They're not talking about the fact that this blue-head fool killed kids in seek of popularity. But what do y'all think about the shooting in the way that they're trying to legislate the Second Amendment?
I think it's disgusting what happened, and it's disgusting because they do this. They weaponize the threat of taking away the Second Amendment. Biden a few weeks ago was talking about bringing back the assault weapons ban and how it worked. So this is a perfect opportunity for them to try to jam it through, because with them, most of their messaging, if not all of it, it's emotional topic repetition. That's the recipe for success. It don't need to be true. It just needs to be emotional, and it needs to be said over and over again. And that's what it is. So it's horrible. And I'm so glad that it ended the way it did. I mean, those police were surgical. They've done that before. They've done it with all that noise before. They've trained this 1,000 times because they were just robotic. And they went there and dispatched that demon as soon as they possibly could. I only wish that it could have taken longer and was more agonizing. And people in the media are trying to justify it by saying that her heart was broken. A friend of hers had recently, like late last year, had died in a car accident, and it was almost a level of obsession with that person. So basically, someone she was obsessed with died, and they're trying to justify the carnage. Not only, I mean, we could start at the crime scene, the police, and the footage of the body cam footage. You see him say, got a body. He said, push forward, move past it, keep going, basically. So those guys got to see that. You think they don't have kids that are that size or were? And finding all the other, 5 bodies, the other 2 kids, the 3 staff members, you think they don't got a mom that looked like them, or, somebody they know in their life? The smell, the gunpowder, the iron in the blood, all of the things. And then the officer, I used to watch that show, First 48, all the time. Love that show. And to me, one of the most gut-wrenching parts was when they had to contact the family, when they had to call you, or this kid, 19 years old, his mom worked in an office building, and some dude robbed or killed her, shot her in the elevator, didn't even take nothing, just ran off into the night like a coward. And they went to his house 2:00 in the morning. Are you the son of so-and-so? Yeah. And those are the last seconds that their life is going to be whole. You know that these officers are about to deliver the worst news they've ever heard in their life. So for those parents, there's nothing worse. Life can give you nothing worse than taking your child, period. So 3 families just got destroyed. And not just the mom and dad, their siblings, their extended family, friends, neighbors. The scream that husband or that wife is going to hear coming from the other room. What's going on? Here, let me deliver the worst news you're ever going to hear in your life. And to do all that stuff, because what? Because you are infatuated with somebody who died, and then the nerve of you to call that a man? Like, what are you talking about? We should be free to say the most horrible things about this person, because that's what they did. I'm glad they were taken out. I'm glad those police officers showed up and did their job. I only wish we could have gone back to maybe the 10th or 11th century with the punishment. That's the only thing I'm upset about, obviously, other than the loss of life. And then to have the resident of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, the first thing out of his mouth was chocolate chip ice cream. Oh, I'm just joking. You're laughing? And the people in the crowd, you're laughing? Do you not realize the gravity of what just happened? That was disgusting. And another thing that people do when in the media, they talk about this was the 150th school shooting in the fiscal year. No, it wasn't. Damn good and well, we ain't had 150 school shootings like this. But they don't go into the details, and that's what they depend on. That's what they bet on. They bet on that the majority of the people they're reporting this to are going to do zero homework, going to believe everything they say. Yes, we've had 150 school shootings this year. And that's it. That's the truth.
Yeah, they full of crap, man. The stats don't yield that. Majority of school shootings happen with handguns. Majority of school shootings are because of an escalation of a altercation. Most of them happen in the parking lot, not in the school. And the large majority of them are accidental shootings or suicides. After the escalated altercation. Most of them are not people just going and shooting up the school. And then they count school shootings if it happened in the parking lot too. So, these people are nutty, they lie, they're deceptive, and they don't care about kids. If they really cared about kids, they wouldn't be really pushing the legislation part of it, because that's impossible to actually pass. And then it's going to take a long time, even if it does pass, for them to go into effect. Right now, I don't understand why they won't just put security guards at the school and allow teachers that are qualified to be able to carry a firearm. Or if you won't let the teachers carry firearms that are qualified and trained and certified, let some veterans come into school. Pay them what you would pay a substitute teacher. Because a lot of veterans, the reason some of them are killing themselves and going off the deep end because they lost purpose. They used to, they had purpose. And if you give them a purpose again, I think that'll be invaluable. Instead of giving billions of dollars to Ukraine for them to blow our money off, how about we introduce these things into our school that we can do them within 24 hours. We don't have to wait for a legislative body to come up with some doctrine. That's what pees me off about these people. They don't really care about your kids.
They don't care about their own kids.
Yeah. So the whole thing with trying to take the guns, it's the narrative's, of course, going to get pushed. And in Nashville, I mean, in Tennessee, as everybody know, we have constitutional carry. It's just beautiful. It's a beautiful thing, man. What can I say?
Finally, y'all late.
Yeah,
in Arizona, we've been having it, baby.
Yeah. It's late, but you know we got it. And I feel like this is one of those narratives that push in Tennessee. And when you look at the news, they're trying to blame the constitutional carry law being passed to say this is the reason why, but it isn't. This is a 28-year-old crazy person doing something that crazy people do. You can't stop people from doing crazy things if they want to do it. Even stabbings went up in the UK. People will find a way to harm people if they want to do it. And secondly, the last thing I want to say is there was a comment that was just penned about the word submissive in the Bible. Love you, whoever that was, but you are incorrect. First off, there's no Hebrew because the word submissive is only used in the New Testament. In the New Testament, original language is Greek, not Hebrew. And the word submissive, it doesn't mean partner at all. If you want to know what it truly means in the Greek, it actually is going to make probably you more upset. So I'm not going to say it on this show, but it doesn't mean equal partner or things of that nature. Say
it then.
Nah, I'm good.
I want to know now.
Yeah, I want to know too. What does that mean?
Does it mean subordinate? Does it mean subordinate? Does it mean slave?
No, it doesn't mean slave, but it does mean to obey. So it's literally telling you to obey your husband. It's not saying equal partners. It's saying to obey, and that's genuinely what it's saying in the Greek.
But that's what it is. Obey your husbands, and the husband has to love his wife as Christ loved the church. And anybody that know how much Christ loved the church, he died for the church. He died, put his life on the line, took the beating, took the slashing in order for the church to have everlasting life. And so, why wouldn't you submit to a person that's doing that for you? Like, it's funny. I know we jumping stuff. Man, these modern women sometimes get on my nerves with that.
Bro, just start a red pill channel, bro.
Man. I'm not. Don't just be blaming that man because your daddy wasn't there.
Hey, look, you got a space, bro. They going out the pro blacks have rejected just pearly things for bringing on Nick.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah.
So you got a lane there, my guy.
I know, right? My wife gonna get on there and just crush it, but yeah, these people nutty, man. I mean, I thought pearly things. I think some of the stuff she says good. I think she's young and she go extra, right? She made a comment that men don't need women, but women need men. She said if they had artificial wombs, then men wouldn't need women. And it's like,
well,
that is the craziest thing. I mean, you gonna lay a baby up here and do this? There's a natural order in which children nurture and skin to skin contact, and they've been in a mother's womb. It's like they hear the mother's voice and all of that building. And when they are born, they need a mother's love and compassion. Men aren't normally as soft and compassionate. I'm not. I tell them, put him in the crib. He'll be fine. Yeah. Ain't nothing wrong with him. My wife is just in there.
He'll be fine.
I can't listen to him scream. I'm like, he ain't gonna die.
Yeah, close the door.
Unless he's gonna die, I ain't going in there.
Yeah.
Women just have that. I'm the protector. My wife is a little more soft, so you can't just have a womb. But kids be dead. Kids be hanging from stuff dead. They ain't feeding them, beating them. You know what I'm saying?
But I do think that's an interesting concept, though. Like it seems to me that you do genuinely have an interest in like relationships and stuff, and I think your perspective is valuable. And like I think that I don't know if you saw Michael Knowles on the Whatever podcast.
Yeah.
Like I think that's a super interesting concept. Yeah, have the Instagram thoughts on. Yeah, have them on, but have like not the fresh and fit kind of dudes, right? Like the red pill dudes. But people like you. Or, Jericho or, Bryson, like more traditional dudes that's just like married and just like, and you do the show like that. I think that's a fascinating concept. And I thought about it with Michael Knowles on the show. I was like, yeah, they should definitely do this. Like, this is what they actually really should do. Have the married man and the thoughts, and then you had a conversation. I think you're gonna get a lot out of that. I think that's a great idea.
Right, you need to have a married man and a married woman, like, you know, people who understand, and then they're talking to men and women. They only bring the thoughts on there because it go viral, because you're looking at these beautiful women and they click. You see his thumbnails, the whatever podcast, the dude thumbnails look like a rap video, you know.
Yeah.
So you have men, women that are struggling in this space, and then you have people who are mature and who've experienced, and they can give good feedback, because women are thinking this about men are thinking this about women, and they're just missing each other, bro.
I agree.
Like, men want respect. Women don't get that. Like, you don't need to be googly gaga over me. Just respect me. You if I'm in public and you disrespect me, that's worse than cheating. I mean, that's about the same as cheating on me.
Same thing.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta pump me up, pump your man up, big your man up, because when he feel big, you know, he will do whatever for you.
Conquer the world.
You got feeling like a little a wimp. You pulling him, dragging him along. You know, if he do something wrong, like, I can't believe you did that. You embarrassing us. Like, you make your man feel like this, he gonna be cheating on you.
What man sticks around for that? If you disrespect me like that, I'm gonna let you know, depending on how bad it is, I'm gonna give you one warning. Don't you ever in your life do that again. If that happens again, it's over. I'm not just gonna be in this miserable, I'm here, I'm gonna cheat. No, it's not gonna be cheating, because I'm gonna be single. It's a wrap.
Bro, that happened to me in my first relationship with my youngest son's mom. We were engaged. We were going through all this, bro. And she called me on the phone one day, because I had stayed at home because we were young, bro. I stayed at home to take care of the baby 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And she was there to finish school. So I had to give up all of my like masculinity, because, you know, I had to sit at the house. I really want to go work, but I got to take care of the baby. And man, she pulled it. It was over, bro. She called me on the phone and was like, she got mad at me and tried to pull rank. Well, you can't use my computer no more, and you might as well put that cable bill in your name and my name, because you don't have a job. Oh, bro, you disrespect a man like that, it is over, bro. It was the last time we were together, and that was 12 years ago. I just could never recover from that. I'm like, if a woman try to boss up on me, I'll never talk to you again.
That's it.
That's like cheating on a man. Like, you don't boss up on me? You must be crazy. I ain't no real man gonna put up with no crap like that.
That's how I understand these tumultuous relationships where it's always arguing and fighting and disrespect. Why are you sticking around? That's it. My disrespect fuse is short. Once it's burnt, that's it. We're done. I'll cut you out of my life and not give it a second thought. Why do people stick around in these toxic relationships where they're getting disrespected constantly? You do know that there are other people out there in the world. You do know that this isn't the top of the mountain. This is the valley.
But I think like women have kind of put a monopoly on the box. You know what I'm saying? Like, they do this thing where the average dude is not really getting it like they used to. Like, not like that, you know? So it's like, when you are getting it, it's like, oh, I got to keep it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't just let it go.
Hell no.
And I think that's kind of is what a lot of dudes fall into that trap, where it's scarcity, basically. Scarcity mindset. And I truly do believe that scarcity and the women realizing that, hey, I can just sell sex online, or that, you know, box is power. I really do believe that is a primary cause of a lot of the complaints that young men are having. It is quite simply a supply and demand issue. In other countries where demand is more plentiful, not demand, but supply is more plentiful, I don't think they're having these same type of like issues that we're having here in the United States in regards to these women not being as feminine, right? Because in these other countries, they actually have to compete for a man because the box is just simply not as valuable.
Yeah, man, I think that young men that think like that are coming from a broken place, are coming from a place where they may not have a lot of confidence, because there's a lot of women out there that are great women. It's cultural. You just got to find the women who adopt a certain culture, and you don't have to worry about it whatsoever. It's just that the fine ones, you know what I'm saying? If you looking at just looks, the ones who focus on just external, that most of them don't work on the internal whatsoever. Because nowadays people are so visual, men are so visual that if you're a fine chick, you can get it just by any man to communicate with you. And then therefore you could be a crappy person. And men will be just whatever you want me to do. And you know, I think young men have to be cautious of that and say, look, box, bro, like I think maybe men think like that, but like, bro, you don't want no used, but you know what I'm saying? You know, I look at it like cars, bro. You want at the minimum, you want certified pre-owned or you want brand new.
Yeah.
You don't want a salvage title. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you don't want to have to.
Hey, peep this though, right? And I'm gonna tell you, this is why I said more men need to be celibate and practice abstinence. I worked at a call center. If you don't know, I've been celibate a very long time. I only give the year. I worked at a call center. And this is how it works for your benefit. And the rumor, because I used to sit at my desk, answer phone calls, between phone calls, and reading the Bible. If anybody ever worked at a call center, it's a bunch of ratchet women. Everybody knows this. It's just purely ratchet women. The rumors, because my sister worked there too, and women would try me, and I'm like, nah, I'm good. And the rumors started going around, because my sister worked there. She was like, my brother doesn't have sex. It's real simple. You know what the effect that had? More women was trying me at that point, literally. So the reason it's a supply and demand issue is because men are too desperate for the box. If you don't let it have power over you, more women will actually throw themselves. Listen, I promise you. I wish my sister was in the chat or something, bro. Women every single day there's a new female trying to get me to do something with them after work, and I'm like, this is not a joke. I'm literally not having sex with you. But so many was doing it. It's like if I wanted to, it was just plentiful. So the issue is y'all too desperate for it, and women know you're desperate for it. As soon as you let women know, I don't really care about it, you got to show me something different, then that's when they start coming.
Well, they're turning a Nolan Ryan on you.
I'm telling you.
Desperation, yeah, that's always a bad look. But the hunt for the box has been around forever.
Since Jesus days.
And especially a kid of the 80s and 90s, you know, you had those movies, Porky's and things like that, where it was all about, that's what it was about. Sex. When you're a teenager, sex, the slasher movies, the action movies, always going to strip clubs and stuff. It was all about that. So how were we of yesteryear able to achieve that, but these men now can't? I mean, aren't there more women than men? So what has changed? Why do the men believe that there is less supply? Because that's always been the focus. Men have always wanted that.
I think that women are now, like, when I watch Kevin Samuel and some of those guys, like, I think the new generation of women are very delusional, and they're all going after the one type of guy. And all the rest of the guys down here are qualified. They ain't getting none because they don't want to talk to a regular guy. They all are looking up in the sky to get the 6'2", 7-figure guy who's a high value man and who's got status. And therefore, like, the young dudes see beautiful women and they're like, I want to talk to her. They poo-pooing you, bro. You a regular dude, like working a job, making an honest living. The baddest chicks, see, because back in the day, beautiful women would go for good men. It was like they would go for good men. Even if you were taking out, you know, a garbage man, you're a police officer or somebody that's like a blue collar worker. They would go for you. You could get a beautiful woman. Now, bro, it's almost like all these women have been tricked and fake faces and bodies, and they just attract to this one type of man that don't exist. And then they sleep their way up to, not all, but then they sleeping their way up trying to get to that man, and that man don't really exist. And so the young men that are normal, that really trying to be traditional, whatever, they don't get no love, bro. Most of these women.
And that's how you get the.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and that's how you get the red pill. What you're
I see how that happens, bro. I mean, I was kind of like that, man, when I was younger. I felt some type of way, man. I used to see women, and I try to talk to them or whatever. And bro, they didn't want nothing to do with me. I was a police officer. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they want the dude that's a doctor or a lawyer or somebody that got money.
But once they've slept their way to the top, then, you know, what goes up must come down. So now after they've been ran through and haggard and chewed up, and rode hard and put away wet. Then they want to come, then they want to come hat in hand, so to speak. Hey, remember me? I know, but now you done racked up all these miles, and it's like throwing a hot dog down a hallway.
Unless you're Kamala Harris.
Yeah. Dude, I literally had a woman do me like that because I dated her in college. I hope my wife ain't watching this, but it was a woman in college. I'm not gonna say her name. She was yellow. She was there was no black girls at University of Arizona, really. It was the scarcity. This girl was mixed. She had legs. She was fine. She was tall. She was a dancer. And I built up enough courage to talk to her. I passed her one time and I said, if I ever see her again, I'm going to talk to her. And I end up running into her. I said, oh my God, I got to get her number now, bro. And I got her number and I talked to her, and we weren't saved. So, we messed around a little bit. And I kind of did her wrong because, she was throwing it too easy, bro. So I didn't have that much respect for her. But then I dated another girl and we broke up, and I got in a serious relationship. But bro, she ran through the team, bro. She went to my homeboy, best friends, they brothers, and all that. Bro, she had a reputation, and that's just a football team. I don't know what happened with the basketball team. She was messing with some dude in a wheelchair one time. And I'm like, bro, this girl, and she is beautiful, bro. She is one of the most beautiful women you'll see. And bro, she came back to me like years later, bro. And she was in town, and she's like, hey, you want to go out to eat? And I'm like, oh, that's cool. She hit me with the, hey, have you ever thought about like what would it be like if me and you were in a relationship? I got offended, bro. I said, what about me make you think you're gonna do all that and then you're gonna come back to me? I'm the peasant you want to settle down with. You let everybody else play, but you want me to be serious with you. Mm-hmm. And I was offended, bro. And that's why I tell these young women, like, certified pre-owned at the moment. Don't be out here running the miles up, because dudes they'll test drive it. And then they'll be like, man, I don't want this. This is, you got
Physical
too much going on, man.
Us.
I want to go with newer. Somebody that ain't got bodies where you liable to run into dudes that this girl done been with.
Or the women, tell the women just keep themselves pure until marriage. The biblical way is just typically always the best way,
Bro, men will be virgins if women wouldn't do it. Facts. They the gatekeeper, bro.
Facts.
Yeah.
All they gotta say, I ain't giving them none. Bro gonna be in there with Hannah, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. The Rosie
that's all you got,
5
bro.
sisters. Yeah,
you gonna be Hannah with her 5 sisters, because you ain't getting nothing. You will be if she want to be a virgin, you a virgin.
Yep.
The problem is,
and you have a lot of pressure, when you're a young man, peer pressure, because that's what it's all about. When you're a teenager, that's what it's all about, man. That's all your friends are talking about. That's all you're hearing. That's all you're seeing, maybe because that's all you want to see, whatever. That's what it's all about. So to combat that, the outside pressure, the inside pressure, because your hormones are telling you, hey, man, you are ready. Let's go. It's a lot to fight. It really is. But you're right. If the woman says, nope, that's what it is.
Right. I just, somebody said women would be virgin if men didn't do it. But I think men will do anything. Yeah. Women can be selective. They can say, no.
Don't leave it up to
men is
us.
like, why? But if you leave it up to men, they'll hit a whole family. Mamas, daughters, everybody. They don't even care, bro. Men just don't. And I think that's the way, and I say this. Let me say this, people gonna get mad at me. I think that God made us to have a drive. Now you have to coordinate, you have to manage that drive appropriately, because we are to be fruitful and multiply. If you ain't got no drive, bro, you ain't finna have nothing. You ain't gonna have no real kids. Mm-hmm. You're supposed to channel that drive with one woman, and then you could be fruitful. And I think that's why men have that drive like that, because to be honest, a woman can only have a kid, 9 months. She down for the count for 9 months. Men could have 45 kids in 9 months if they don't care. If you like Nick Cannon, you could have a whole bunch of kids. So and I'm not advocating for that. That's a whole nother conversation about monogamy versus polygamy or whatever. But anyway, I done had y'all here way too long. Y'all got anything else to add?
No, man. Right, perfect. I'm good.
we could talk for 4 hours, but I've been up,
man.
and the first time I ate something was a little bowl right here. So yeah, tell everybody where your social media at. Jericho, start with you. We'll go to Black Conservative Perspective, and then Bryson last. But just tell them where they can find your gear, your website, how to follow you, all that good stuff.
Yeah, YouTube, Jericho Green, Instagram at JG Talk. It gets pretty wild over there, so check it out before I get shut down. Jericho Green at locals.com, also Jericho Green on Rumble. Pretty much just search Jericho Green, it's all there. mygreengear.com, jerichogreen.net. I'm just trying to have as many handles as ABL. But that's where you can find me. And again, thanks for having me, man. It was a pleasure kicking it with you guys.
For sure. Greg, what you got?
Black Conservative Perspective on YouTube, G Foreman BCP on Twitter, Instagram.
Yeah, see, I think people don't, if y'all don't know who Greg is, Black Conservative Perspective, I think a lot of y'all probably do, because I think we got a lot of same followers. Bro, you almost to 1 million, bro.
Yeah, congratulations.
Sheesh. You had 600K, bro. I be looking at your videos. I'm like, dang, I got to do a video like that. He didn't beat me to it, man. So,
See, this is why I'm not. This is why I'm not in a relationship, man. I'm married to, YouTube.
Hey, bro. If I can give you any advice, gun it, bro. Keep doing your YouTube.
Yeah,
Find that later, bro. Once you get your YouTube set, bro, I would say pick of the litter. But anyway, is that all? Did you finish, or did I?
Yeah. That's it.
Say that again.
Black Conservative Perspective on YouTube, G Foreman BCP on Twitter and Instagram.
Perfect. Bryson.
Yes,
where
sir.
Can we download the music too, bro?
Oh yeah, Bryson Gray on YouTube. Real Bryson Gray on Twitter. I have the most lit Twitter. Everybody hates me on all sides. I say whatever I want to say. It's where the party is. You know what I'm saying? Bryson Creates on Instagram, and also allccg.com. I started a website with Tyson James because I have a habit of getting banned from platforms. We created a website, and it has a 24-hour radio station on it featuring Christian conservative rap music. B. Tatum actually signed up. I thought he was joking.
No, bro.
He actually
on
signed
the spot.
up.
I had to log out of the live. I'm like, God dang, I'll come back. I go log in, and I came back.
He signed up. It's $7 a month, but it's literally a 24-hour Christian conservative radio station, handpicked. You're not going to hear no crazy stuff on there. Oh, snap. Thank you, Scott, for that. And also my music, my last song, Homemakers, is going pretty viral. So if you're a homemaker, vibe out, rock out.
I need to do a review on that song. I see it everywhere, man. It was I was like, man, these women getting on my nerves with this. But bro, it was viral, man. All these women homemade, they dance, they kids in the thing.
Kids in it, it's lit.
See, that's a vibe, bro, because everybody don't have an opportunity to express that, because they get shunned. And all the other music is being thoughts and stuff. So celebrating good women is a good thing. But hey, man, I appreciate all y'all being on here. Y'all go follow everybody that's on here. Somebody said they don't know Bryson. Somebody must have been sleeping on the rock. Bryson, bro, I'm like, you on legit rock star status with the music though. Your music at the top of the charts, bro.
Yeah,
like at the top. Even secular rappers, it's at the top of that.
Yep, we trying.
It's
all right,
good.
y'all got to go support. Y'all got to support everybody on here. So y'all hold on. I'm gonna close out and one last words with y'all, and then we out. All right, we'll see y'all later. Thank y'all for watching.